Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am at an indistinct industrial location somewhere in Southern California, and of course, I have had the experience of seeing Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, which I went out there and saw because everybody was seriously crapping on this movie, and I'm like, well, no, not. I saw it because I had the opportunity to see it, and that's why I see almost every movie I review is the opportunity presents itself, which is one of the reasons I do rely very heavily on you folks suggesting movies for me to review. Because, look, most of the movies out there absolutely stink. And when something comes my way, I'm going to review it. If something doesn't come my way, I won't. But setting that aside, The Rise of Skywalker is the ninth film in what is supposed to be the core of Star Wars. I did not see The Last Jedi, just so you'll know. I saw The Force Awakens, so I'm familiar with these characters, but I'm not familiar with all of the things that are retconned in The Rise of Skywalker that were brought about in The Last Jedi. So there's that. But we have this this film opening to there being two major plot points. One is the rebels are trying to find the location of the, is it the First Order, the Last Order, some sort of order? There's a dark fleet of baddies out there, and they're going to really, really blow some stuff up, with every one of their ships being as powerful as the Death Star, which makes the Death Star one of the stupidest decisions the Emperor could have ever made. Oh, and the Emperor is back with his evil fleet. And the rebels are trying to find it so they can blow it up before it. Dumb. And the rebels are trying to find it so they can blow it up before it blows them up. And then the Emperor Palpatine, wants Kylo Ren to go and shank a Rey. So that's what you've got going on there. You've got Kylo Ren looking for Rey, and you've got Rey looking for the Dark Fleet, the location of the Dark Fleet. And beyond that, hilarity ensues. And again, I love cheesy sci-fi movies, so I have to say I was thoroughly entertained by this. I'm almost ashamed to say it because everybody's saying how terrible it is. And I'm going to be honest with you. It didn't feel much like a Star Wars movie. It wasn't epic. There were a lot of themes explored, like, heredity and people coming together and all those things. But you have to understand that this movie was very similar to watching a video game. I don't know if you ever watched a video game, but some video games have interesting enough story for you to watch them. And it's like, we're going to go over here and we're going to find such and such. Here we are. Oop, here it is. And there are these just ideas that are expressed which are so ridiculously stupid. Entertaining, but ridiculously stupid. And the thing about that, of course, is that, again, you would think that these things would take longer, but they've got a ticking clock going on there, and the ticking clock makes them, well, if they don't happen immediately, they're not going to happen. But again, this is a movie full of what are called MacGuffins, which are the magic beans you got to find to make whatever work. And that's one thing, is there's just too dang many things you have to find. We're looking for this, we're looking for that. It's almost like originally the movie was going to be they're looking for this, And then that didn't take long enough, so they added another scene to it. That still didn't take long enough, so they added this to it. And, things continued to add. So the movie feels very rushed. But another problem that comes up very quickly in this movie is that whoever wrote this film shows a Jedi levitating and yet forgets entirely that Jedis can levitate. And I mean, yes, we know from The Empire Strikes Back, Luke falls down that hole and he doesn't levitate. Which, okay, but I mean, you're a Jedi, you should be able to levitate pretty easily. You can pick up a ship. Again, Luke, not being a well-trained Jedi, although certainly a Jedi Knight, has limited abilities at that time. And then in the next movie, The Return of the Jedi, he comes out there and he's captured in a trap. And it's like, okay, well, but he's in a trap. And then clearly it's shown that he could levitate something the size of a human being. So the question being, it's like, okay, well, quicksand plays a part in this movie. Why can't Rey just levitate herself out of it? There's a point where, they've got to get across water in the movie, and it's like, why can't Rey just float? She's a super strong Jedi. I mean, she's a crack the ground. I remember that from the trailers or something. She's a crack the ground strong Jedi. Why can't she just Jedi herself across things? It's one of those things you have to understand about Jedi is they're quite powerful, and being as powerful as they are, they need a stronger obstacle than a frickin' storm. It's one of those things is that Jedi are supposed to be incredible warriors that can fight against terrible odds, and taking them down was supposed to be very difficult. You've got these really great bounty hunters who come from the era where they were taking down Jedi. So what the heck happened? Either I'm overestimating what Jedi are, or I don't know, but it shows in the beginning that Rey can levitate and she can make stones move, and she's actually quite powerful. And I mean, people have used the term like Rey is a Mary Sue in this movie, which means she's just good at everything. But, she was a Mary Sue in the first movie where she was way too good with a lightsaber than she should have been. In this movie, now you have a fully trained Rey who should be mopping the dang floor with Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren shouldn't pose a threat anymore now that she's a Jedi or whatever training she got. This is kind of the problem that comes out here, is you have to examine the conservation of power. Something fell. The conservation of power becomes an issue. So that's what's going on. And again, look, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. And because this film is part of an important franchise and part of the zeitgeist of our generation, you should definitely put it on your watch list. Okay? Know that if you're a Star Wars fan, it is going to aggravate the flaming crap out of you. But also know that, in order to understand what everybody's talking about, you kind of got to see this movie. In fact, I have to downgrade that to watch it if you're bored, because at some point you will be bored, and this movie will come up. And again, it's entertaining if you're bored. If you have something better to do, you could skip this movie. Anyway, that is just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Comments below. I'm Richard.
Hello folks, I'm Fred the Facehugger, reminding you to like and comment on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, because if you don't, random Street Theater might not be around forever. And for every 1,000 subscribers, we're going to take a pound of trash out of the ocean. We don't have that many yet. So, get subscribing. Tell your friends. Or I face hug you. Mwah!